This is BofC Live, the video and podcast series of Business of Cannabis. Find out all that we do at businessofcannabis.com. Coming up on BofC Live, a conversation with Everett Knight and Adam Shea of the Valens Company. They'll join us to talk about their suite of brands, the work they do with licensed producers in Canada, and their overall approach to the cannabis sector in Canada and beyond. Enjoy this conversation with two leaders at the Valens Company. Adam and Everett, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Everett, you're not even going to remember this, but you're one of the first people I heard speak in the cannabis sector on a stage. It was like 2018 in Vancouver at a Lyft conference. It was like a million years ago, but nice to see you on BofC Live, and thanks for being here.
Well, appreciate you listening to me back then.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, you were really good. I was really impressed. And you were right about everything. There, I said it. Nobody's going to go back and rewind and see what you said. So you're just really like a clairvoyant. But talk about, the first thing I want to ask, like, for those that don't know what's going on in Valens and what it is, give us like Valens 101, and then we'll jump into the deeper conversation.
Sure. So the Valens Company, we're a Canadian based cannabis company, and we're the largest manufacturing company in the cannabis space. We probably have the best manufacturing assets here in Canada. And, what we were focused on early on was really 2.0 product manufacturing. And where we believe the future of cannabis will really be in what I mean by 2.0 products is the extract-based products. It's the beverages, cheersing over a dinner, or the passing around edibles, or taking out a vape pen. That's really where we were. And if you look at, that's how we were positioned, and most people know us today. But as Adam will tell you, we truly position today as a brand platform with that expertise in the automation and innovation on that manufacturing side. And I'll let Adam later in this go through some of those brands and how we're positioned into 2021. And I'll say the only thing I'll add to that is we have one of the best global CBD brands with Green Roads. I think a lot of people know that, but I think we're really excited about that market, not only in the US, but globally as well.
Yeah, so you got everything right just then too, and back way back in January of 2018. I will say that. Adam, I want to shift to you because especially recently, but over the past several months, like there's been just tons of news obviously happening from Valens, but specifically around like new brands that you're launching. Talk a little bit about what's going on that front, and sort of what are the things, in addition to what Everett said, like some of the things you're really excited about and what you guys have been up to.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's great to be here, Jay. Like I'm pretty energized about a bunch of things. And if I think about what, what Valens is doing right now, right, is we basically have made this really intentional pivot from being, Canada's #1 extractor to eventually being Canada's #1 overall LP. We've been a trusted partner of other LPs for years. That'll continue in a very intentional way, but we're going to broaden what we're doing, and you can see that coming into the market as we launch and build a house of brands. Every category has a different level of brand affinity depending on what you're buying. But there's no question that brands play a very important role in cannabis. And Valens is going to be extraordinarily disruptive this year and onward when it comes to the brand portfolio, both in Canada and then Everett obviously mentioned Green Roads, and we've got a whole host of things happening down there. But what excites me, frankly, is that we've been able to build a team that has, in my mind, kind of the perfect combination of consumer goods expertise from a series of categories, both regulated and non-regulated kind of categories, as well as just a very deep understanding of cannabis. Frankly, to me, it's kind of like the main competitive advantage that we have opposed to competitors that we face day to day in the space. A lot of people can claim that they might have one or the other. I think Valens really does have both. So I'm excited about a couple of the brands that that we'll talk about perhaps right now, but that you'll definitely see in the market to come.
Do it.
Do it now? Okay.
Let's see. Yeah, do it.
So historically, we had represented a series of other brands, but now if you want to think about Valens, think about Valens brand house as 4 big brands in Canada. Okay.
I'm
Brand
taking
number
notes.
1, take notes, write it down. It's important. So brand number 1 is called Versus. And Versus is going to be a brand that is going to be a challenger brand that is going to cause a ton of disruption to what I would call lazy brands that are out in the market already, that have just gotten comfortable being in a position where they offer value, let's say on a price point basis. Versus is going to offer a great accessibility on price point. It'll play intentionally in very specific segments. It'll be in flower, it'll be in pre-rolls, it'll be big time in vapes. It'll have a presence in concentrates, and it will play in edibles and beverages as well. So that full spectrum of product, it'll be a very high quality offering. It'll be accessible at a very good price. So that, and it's very edgy. So I think people are going to have a very consistent experience with what they're going to get from Versus. If next in this sort of quad of brands would be an exciting new acquisition that has joined our family in Citizen Stash. I think Citizen Stash, to a lot of cannabis users in Canada, isn't a new brand. We're super excited that it's part of our portfolio. What I'd say about Citizen Stash is that you're going to see us make this very accessible across not only its existing formats, obviously anchored in dried flower and pre-rolls, but you will see new innovation come from Citizen Stash in vapes, in concentrates, and with the platform that we have and the agility of how we can actually operate and manufacture, we're going to be able to actually make this product far more accessible, both price point wise and across the retail trade, based on our key kind of customer partnerships.
Quick fact about Citizen Stash? It's most recently how I tipped my barber.
So I love it. What format did you give him? What was the
flower? I think it was flower. I like to give him treats. His shop, I'll give a plug, B-Side Barbers on St. Clarence, just south of Bloor and Bloordale in Toronto. But he likes cannabis. We talk about it all the time. I like to tip him in cannabis, and so that's what I tipped him with last time.
Nice.
I love it. Well, you're going to see lots more from Citizen Stash. If I back up to Versus for one more second, we had 2 exciting launches that actually hit the trade across Ontario, and you'll see it in the rest of Canada in the months to come, with a 28-gram offering, Super Lemon Haze product from Versus, and some really, really phenomenal beverages. We've got an exceptional platform where we've created a seltzer lineup. You'll see 2 of them that have just launched. And hopefully you can find them at a litany of different stores across Ontario. You'll see that go across the country shortly too. Okay, brand number 3, and in no particular order necessarily that I'm saying, but remember, there's going to be a house of 4 in Canada. So brand number 3, Contraband. This is exciting because this is one that we developed kind of as an homage to a bit of the legacy days that are near and dear to Tyler's heart. We've got this, what we think is a really edgy play on 90s hip hop, which has always kind of been anchored and a big part of cannabis. You're going to see that come out in a more premium offer. It's launched recently this week in Ontario. You will see it across the country. Look out for some real banger type strains to come in that. You're going to see it in a whole new packaging format too, which I think will be pretty cool experience for users. So, but again, the plan with Contraband will be a real premium experience. We'll offer them product lineup across flower, pre-roll. We probably will excite people with a vape, a very premium vape to come, and we'll probably get a concentrate or 2 in there as well. And then the 4th brand is a brand that it's out there today, but you're going to see a different facelift from it. And it's a brand that we were able to acquire when we got the Life edibles business, and it's called Vacay. And Vacay is a brand that we're going to anchor solely in edibles. I would say watch out to the usual big suspects out there that seem to dominate the edible space. I am beyond confident in our capability set being able to over deliver from an actual manufacturing standpoint. So you're going to see some really intentional and unique new things come in the form of Vacay, and Vacay will really lead the edible strategy in Canada, at least for Valens, and we'll probably get creative as well on some beverages, some more sessionable style beverages, one-to-one beverages, or things that can be a bit more accessible to newer users. So like that house of four there, Jay, between Versus, Citizen Stash, Vacay, and Contraband, you're going to see a really developed portfolio. And frankly, I would challenge even our biggest competitors in their ability to keep up to us, because I don't think they're going to be able to be honest.
That sounds like you guys sit in boardrooms and create products and look at what's out there and like fill gaps and build brands. That sounds like a lot of fun. It really does sound fun. I envy that. I envy like the whiteboard sessions. Where are we going to go? What it's going to be? What it's going to look like? What formats we're going to do? That sounds really interesting. Everett, I want to go to you because since 2019, it's just such, even when we talked before, it's like, it's been a challenging time in the cannabis industry. We're in an interesting space in Canada because sales numbers just keep going up. Like more stores equal more sales, more consumers getting more cannabis all the time. But it always seems, I would say, volatile. But talk about how like a Valens, thinks about that volatility, but also plans against it and executes strategy. Like those are challenging business environments, but talk a little bit about sort of how you think about that volatility as you continue to grow.
Yeah, I think you see it as an opportunity. Like, I think that, what we've done a good job in Canada, and obviously there has been volatility. We were behind on storefronts at the very beginning, right? We've had our ups and downs. I think that I'd love to focus on excise taxes and reform there. And we need that. We're one of the highest paying tax industries in Canada now. But we will get that, right? But as we've done as an industry, to kind of bring it up for people, we did $2.6 billion in 2020, and we're probably going to do $3.9 billion as an industry in Canada in 2021. And that's only going to grow into 2022. So high level, I think we've done good. We were the first legal country to legalize this. And, Jay, you and I talked about this way back in the day, and you've seen my presentations. Obviously, I'm proud to be Canadian, but now we have some steps forward. And I think that, how we differentiate, and Adam, and you should talk to the ops teams and our ops teams in particular, the expertise on innovation, right? How do you have the best provincial sales growth that we've had compared to anyone else? Well, it's because of innovation. And I think that you want to stay ahead of it. And we really view ourselves as an innovation hub. And I'd keep an eye out for what Adam said at the beginning. Keep an eye out for some pretty cool products this year because the team's been working really hard on that.
You're being attacked by an animal, I think.
I have another fan to join the podcast here.
I love it. That's so funny. That's not the first cat ever to be on Business of Cannabis anything, but I find cats do like Zoom. It's kind of a weird attraction that they have to people on screen, and maybe like warm keyboards. I don't know what it is. I don't know what. I want to go back to you. You talked a little bit about what's happening in the States, of course, right? Like, talk a little bit about it's gained cannabis in overall, even, early days, 2015, 16, 17, like lots of interest from investors, right? There are publicly traded companies galore. Investors loved the approach, loved investing in cannabis because it was new, interesting, high growth. Talk a little bit about sort of what you expect now, or what investors should expect now, either from Valens, of course, but also maybe from the industry overall, because I feel like we're getting into a place where, of course, it's fun to invest in cannabis, but now there's actually companies with track records and game plans and brands and sales and revenue. Talk a little bit about that, because I think that's interesting as well. As the industry sort of progresses, so too does its relationship with investors.
It's a really good point. And look, I mean, people could look at our sector right now, and Everett alluded to this obviously, and there is volatility for a series of different reasons. I think, you know, what investors should look at with cannabis is that the onslaught of where this is going to go as becoming more and more of a mainstream category, mainstream product is fast and furiously approaching, right? And ironically, you actually see that in the US in the CBD structure of how you can access, you know, how accessible CBD really is, right? And the fact that it is already offered. In fact, we produce many of these products via our Green Rose business in pet care products or in various topical products. You know, you can go into a conventional environment like a drugstore and a grocery store, and the moment that becomes something that's accessible in Canada, I think and other markets, frankly, you're just going to have a far bigger adoption from more traditional consumer goods companies to say, okay, look, we've been thinking about cannabis and the applications it could have to our products. Okay, hey, now this is more and more permissible for us to actually dip our toe in, you know, confidentially, because it'd be premature to say this, but you know, we've had some exciting discussions recently with two major, one major beverage organization that offers product globally today, and that product is offered in a number of formats, and they're now thinking about how do we create a CBD offering using this powerful brand that again is a brand that's a globally recognized beverage brand. We've also had discussions with large conglomerate restaurant businesses that are saying, hey, look, we're developing more and more of our own products. We're using these products maybe in alcoholic or non-alcoholic ways, but we think that there's actually a ton of opportunity for CBD, at least as an initial start, to have a much more bigger presence. So, you know, when I think about how investors should look at it, I mean, you know, if you can commit yourself to a little bit of a longer term horizon, the adoption, and I think the onslaught in Canada will really come with, frankly, CBD being more accessible in conventional environments and not just only through the regulated side of the business. So I would hope that Health Canada gets us there, because I think that'll open up a whole array of opportunities for more conventional products. So for investors that have that longer term view, this is going to be big. And I think it already is in a lot of ways. Obviously, you know, Everett can speak better than I can to the onslaught of opportunity. Of course, if THC, as you know, Jay, better than anyone, if that ever becomes, you know, more accessible in the US, of course, that you know, that's a whole nother animal of opportunity. But I think consumer products will continue to have more and more applications with cannabis. It's just going to be a matter of time.
Yeah, and we talk about a lot, sort of Health Canada look at like cannabis health products and what that would mean for the industry to, you know, you could have CBD products at the shop, you know, at Loblaws and Shoppers, and sort of on the health and wellness aisles, along with other supplements and sort of ingredients, which would be amazing and actually sort of transformative, I think, to the industry in Canada for sure, because there is high demand, obviously, for CBD products. Just right now, you have to go to a cannabis store to get them. But if it was sort of outside of that, and sort of the health and wellness component would be really, really compelling. Now I want to shift because, and we'll post sort of the details as this runs as well, but talk a little about, you guys have an investor day coming up. Everett, do you want to give sort of a quick overview of what that looks like and sort of why now, I guess, and why is it more important, I guess, than ever to be communicating with investors and sort of giving them the view that you're talking to us about?
Yeah, I think it's what you said at the beginning, Jay. Like, you know, the fundamentals of our business hasn't changed, but the volatility in the marketplace has. And, you know, we've seen a pretty tough market for our investors, whether you're investing in cannabis or you're investing in small cap growth companies worldwide. You've seen a huge correction. And I think for us, you know, Adam and I on a day-to-day basis, we're working late on the fundamentals, which we see clearer than everyone. And I think that what we need today is an extra level of transparency, because people don't see what Adam and I see on a day-to-day basis. People don't have that day-to-day opportunity. And I think, you know, to bring it to your question, Adam, is Yeah, when you look at the longer term view of this market, you have an existing black market, right? That you already have a defined consumer. I don't know when you have this, and all you have is we're legalizing this and taking it to a new marketplace, and you have double-digit growth rates through that process. So with an already defined consumer, it de-risks it, and you have a recession-resilient product. So long term, I think everyone's got to take a step back. This is a space for the long term. It starts with medical acceptance, which we have the research now, and then it turns into the social acceptance of legalization. It's not if it gets legalized, it's only when. And this is the journey we're on, and there's going to be volatility. But I can tell you, for me, I'm in this industry for the next 10 years for sure. And I love it. It helps people. It's across pharmaceutical, wellness, and recreational. And I think that's the important thing. And it's much bigger than all of us on this call. And that's what I get up in the morning early, and the reason I work late.
Yeah, it's interesting because even all the growth we talked about right up top of new retail throughout Canada, what that means for overall sales, what that means for the industry, new brands launching every day. In Ontario, the Ontario Cannabis Store is even saying that it's right at par between people buying in the legacy market, people buying in the legal market. Like there's a whole nother 50% of people we want to bring over either with their we want their full purchase, right? But we'll continue to move their purchases into legal market or split it more evenly between the two. And like, that's just massive room for growth. In addition to the new retail that's opening up still in Ontario, still in other provinces, and with new categories and new products, it's a very exciting opportunity and time. And that's that's why I wake up early, stay up late, because like talking about it and talking to folks like you who are like innovating and putting things out is amazing. Adam, back to you, maybe to wrap it up, like as you, I sometimes asking publicly traded companies like to look ahead, they shy away from that, but like, what is like on the near term horizon? Is it like these 4 brands hitting the market and gunning and finding receptivity? Is it like just the overall growth? Like what keeps you excited from morning to night?
It's a good question. There's no shortage of stuff that keeps me going. I like when I think about our business, there's 3 or 4 things that just always rise to the top for me at what is the most meaningful and the most important. So one, just to echo Everett's point, cannabis has such an important role for so many people's lives. And it's way beyond recreational. And of course, recreational will always be a big part of cannabis, but it's such an important part of so many people's lives. And the more that message continues to be out in the ether, I think the more people will understand the opportunities that the plant offers. I think about Valens specifically, we are going to have some very significant things happen throughout 2022. I've only given you a teaser of sort of what some of that brand house looks like. The innovation machine that is in the background is going to really bring some unique products to the market, some stuff that people really haven't seen before. And, we're not going to lose the identity, though, of being a partner to major LPs. And if anything, you're going to see us have very significant partnerships with some of the largest LPs as we help them drive their agenda too, knowing the capability set. And that's what I think is kind of the secret sauce for Valens is, we have such an agile ability to manufacture. So I think we can be on both sides very, very well. It'll be exciting. There's going to be a lot to come this year.
It's amazing. Like I like talking to you guys. I like following what Valens is up to. I liked hearing about the sort of 4 brands and where you guys are going. Loved hearing about sort of your take on the stick-to-itiveness of the strategy, even among the turmoil. I hope we can have you guys back because we like connecting with you and hearing all the things that Valens is up to, especially when we see it on our social feed. We get to talk to you in real life as much as this is real life. It's really great. And Everett, nice to see you all these years, still plugging away and keeping it true to sort of the industry and being really passionate about it. So thank you, Adam. Thank you, Everett. We look forward to connect with you guys down the road.
Thanks, Jay.
Hey, thanks for having us, Jay. Appreciate it.
That was BofC Live. If you like this program, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also find us wherever you find your podcasts. We're able to do what we do because of ongoing partnerships with Alterna Savings, Cannabis at Work, Cannabis Benchmarks, Ken Delta, Gallagher, Headset, and Torque & Main. Find out all that we do at businessofcannabis.com.